I've hit quite a milestone in my weight loss journey. I've hit 180 pounds loss. I started out at 425 and I reached down to 245. Right now I'm ranging anywhere from 242, 245, depending on the day. It's been a huge loss. It's taken 12 years, so it hasn't happened overnight. I didn't gain it overnight. But I think one of the important things that I want to share is I didn't start till I was 50 years old. So I was late in life when I realized I wasn't going to live that way anymore. You know, I wanted to live a quality life. I wanted to enjoy myself. And I did it without surgery. I absolutely have no problem with people that have surgery to get this done. Whatever it takes to live your best life is what you should do. But I just want to be genuine and let you know how I did it without surgery as a 425 pound, 50-year-old man. I just stopped eating the junk food for the most part. I had an awful lot of days where I messed up, sometimes weeks, sometimes months of poor eating, going right back to my old habits. But in general, I just changed the way I ate. I went in everywhere from juicing vegetables, nothing but juiced vegetables. And right now I'm on carnivore. I've been through cancer twice, had colon resection, so my digestive system has changed a lot. Carnivore just works for me. I'm able to have, great life balance. I work out all the time. I lift weights, I cycle, I hike. Depending on where I'm at for work and what's going on in my life, I just make whatever is available work. You can do it strictly by walking. You can do it by lifting weights. I always feel the very best when I'm weightlifting. I power lift. I can lift so much more now than I could when I was in the Air Force, at age 20. So your life doesn't need to stop when you hit 50, that's for sure. I've proven that over and over that age is just a number. I can do 30-mile cycle rides. I can do brutal 3-hour hikes in 100-degree heat. Your body can do amazing things if you just give yourself a chance and give your body what it needs. And for me, there's not a doubt about it. I am an absolute food addict. I'm a sugar junkie. I laugh at serving sizes with an Oreo. Serving size is 2 cookies. Well, if I could eat 2 cookies, I can promise you, I would not have been 425 pounds. My problem is 1 cookie led to 6, led to 8. Then of course you can't have an Oreo without milk. So then came the glasses of milk and it just went on from there. I've been through periods where I can buy cakes and donuts for other people. Not be tempted much. I guess you're always tempted a little bit if you've had that sweet tooth. I'm able to pass it, not eat it. And then there's times that if I even smell a donut, I'm gonna go down that binge of eating donuts and cookies and drinking diet drinks or drinking regular drinks. So for me, what works is just abstaining from it all. Eating when I feel the very, very best. I am strictly eating beef, as a matter of fact. If I can have just beef, I feel the very best. I'm able to do the most. I can cycle fasted, I can hike fasted. Beef and water is what my body really, really thrives on. And that is what I need to do as often as possible. Will I stray? Absolutely. I love Mexican food. There's gonna be times when I'm gonna have Mexican food. And I do stay in ketosis, I test my blood. The great thing about it is, if you're in good ketosis, I can eat a Mexican meal. And the next day, as long as I exercise and get right back on it, in 24 to 48 hours, I'm back in ketosis. I'm back to burning fat as energy. And that again is where my body thrives. And I know that because, not many people can go out and cycle for 2 hours fasted and put up great times and great numbers, as far as the effort that I put in. And I just want to encourage people to not give up on life. Don't think because you're a certain age that you cannot lose the weight and feel amazing. I would do it all over again today. I would start at my age now, which I wish I could say is 35, but it's not. But I would start at my age now if I knew the journey was going to take 10 years. Just because of how much more I enjoy life now than I did in my 30s and 40s. And it was probably in my late 30s that I started piling on the weight. A lot of it was alcohol. I have given up the alcohol. I'm not going to say I'll never drink again, but with my goals in mind, and I'm so close to hitting my goal weight, it's just not something I do. That was one of the easier things I ever had to give up. It was easier for me to give up alcohol than it was donuts. Donuts was I couldn't go by a QT station and not stop in and see what kind of donuts they had in the bakery. So, and trust me, there's nothing special about me. I'm just an old man that got sick of being fat. I'm still fat. I'm still overweight. But I live a great life. I'm able to do a lot of things. And I encourage you to do the same. This channel is as much for me to have accountability than it is to encourage you. I really want to encourage some people to take control of your life, take control of your eating, not say that it's too old for me, this is how I am, people can accept me or they can't. It's not about people accepting you, it's about you accepting you. It's about you enjoying life. You being able to get up and down out of a chair and not wonder, is this arm going to support me as I use my body weight to get myself up out of the chair? I can remember going to a restaurant. I'd research it online to see if they had tables instead of booths. There was nothing worse than trying to squeeze into a booth that you didn't know if you were going to fit in. And if you could fit, were you going to be able to even enjoy eating? I can remember looking at chairs if I went to a wedding and wondering, are these flimsy chairs going to support my big butt? Am I going to have to sit there and hold as much of my weight up as I could possibly hold up with my feet to not stress out the chair? I was a wedding photographer and did wedding videos, and I always dreaded the reception where I was so out of shape that I needed to sit down. But seeing these flimsy little white chairs that were not meant for a 400-pound man, I can tell you that. So my word of encouragement is to you, it's never too late to start. It's not going to be an easy go. Chances are your weight loss won't be the same every week, every month. It's going to be up and down. You're going to have your times where you fail. Just get back on the horse and do it again. The shorter that fail is, the easier it is to recover. Vacations are vacations. Don't beat yourself up about it. You're going to have those days where you fail. But just have more days that you win than you fail. And it's great to you when you get to a certain point. You're going to get to a certain part of life where you can live with yourself. You can live with the way you look. You can live with the way you feel. You can get up and down out of furniture without any issues. You can fit in a booth. You can do all these things. Then the weight loss is, more your personal goal than it is to survive. Take it from a guy who's been through colon cancer and surgeries. I've been through it all. Really had to relocate so many times. I've got my life together. I'm working hard, and I'm never going to go back to that 425-pound slob. Couldn't do anything but lay around. So I encourage you to follow me in my journey. I'm going to share the pitfalls that I had, the ways that I did things, the mistakes that I made. If I can help you guys save the mistakes that I made. Can't starve yourself, I can tell you that. Diet's way more important than the exercising. I did the exercise mostly because I had a doctor friend that worked out with me at the Y, and he encouraged me not to do surgery. I was already doing the things that needed to be done to lose the weight. He encouraged me to just keep doing what I did. He said, let it happen over time. You know, if you exercise, you can eliminate most of the loose skin. Sure, I have some loose skin, but I'd rather have the little bit of loose skin that I have and be able to do the things that I do than to not have loose skin and not enjoy life like I do. You know, I'm doing so many more things. I love to get outside. I love to hike. I love to cycle. You know, cycling's my therapy. Something about going out there and riding for 20, 30, 40 miles. I've done up to 50 miles. There's nothing like it. Just knowing that your body is capable of doing the things that you wouldn't think a 56-year-old man should be able to do. If you want to subscribe, follow my channel. I'm going to post consistently. I've struggled with the consistency in the past. I'm just not going to struggle with it anymore. It may not be great content. It may be, you know, poorly lit. It may be poorly filmed, bad audio. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to share with you things that I've done that have worked, things that I've done that have not worked. And if I can help you in any way, this will all be worth it. And I hope you hold me accountable. I hope you encourage me to not cave in. Because for me personally, with the colon cancer that I had and the surgery that I had, it's more than just relapsing as far as my diet. My quality of life goes way down when I cheat. If I add sugar to my diet, you know, I pay for it for a couple of days. It's not like one day. I pay for it for a couple of days. My life has to change for a couple of days. So there's more in it for me now than just vanity. You know, it is health. It is my lifestyle. All those things matter at this point. Please encourage me, you know, support me, and help me get this last little bit of weight off, and more importantly, keep it off. My goal isn't to lose a lot more weight now. It's to tone up, keep adding muscle, and I have added muscle. So please encourage me to keep going and keep toning and to keep defying age. You know, I'm gonna cycle, I hope, for another 10, 15 years. If you don't have a bike and you like to cycle, get one. I don't care if it's mountain bike, I don't care if it's road bike. You know, there's bike paths all over the place now. There's just places to ride. My first bicycle ride, I have it recorded. I couldn't even ride a mile. It was in my driveway. I started in my driveway. I can remember when I hit my first mile. Then I hit 2 miles. Then I hit 5 miles. You know, soon I was up to 30, 40, 50 miles. You know, and there's nothing like it, guys. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. If you have any questions, drop me a comment and I'll be sure to answer it. But I look forward to watching your progress, and I hope, you know, if you have a channel, you'll share it with me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.